This tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, weighing in with a total combined weight of 603 pounds from the Soviet Union, represented by their manager known worldwide as the Doctor of Style, Slick. Here is Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov, the Bolsheviks.
Alfred, does that combined weight include Slick?
He wouldn't make much difference. He's so tall and skinny.
Young people know by now to stand on your feet when you see the Russians come out and show a little respect while Comrade Volkov sings the Russian national anthem.
I think I'm pretty comfortable right here in this chair.
Yes, I think so.
We only had some earplugs. That's what I like to see.
I tell you something, it's not a bad voice he has, quite honestly. There's a lot of resonance to that voice.
Weighing in with a total combined weight of 469
I don't understand the words, but
from Tampa, Florida, and
I get to see him singing opera.
Here is B. Brian Blair, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, the Killer Bees.
Well, here's an exciting tag team. The Killer Bees, B. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell.
Great tag team, these two, the Bees. Two young men, Brian Blair, and of course Jumping Jim Brunzell.
Don't forget jumping.
No, I nearly did. I nearly just gave him the Jim Brunzell. He must have that little jumping in there. Oh, I'm afraid the Russians caught them napping a little bit there. That's
Alfred, what will have to be the Killer Bees' plan here to face such powerful men as the Bolsheviks?
Well, you know, the Bolsheviks are handicapped in a way because they're both big, huge, powerful men. They don't have any speed. They have a lot of wrestling skills. They have all that power, of course, but no speed. You have to have that in a team. Whereas maybe the Bees, on the other hand, are overloaded with speed and not too much power. This will be a very, very intriguing match.
Now, the atomic drop there by Brian Blair, showing us something very early in the match here. Playing a he may kick him. I think that's putting more fear into the heart of Nikolai Volkov than the actual act itself.
Yes, he dropped a nice blow there to the inside thigh of the left leg of Volkov.
Oh, Boris Zukov interfered and is paying for it right now.
Oh, he's so alert, Brian Blair. He caught Volkov coming in, and Zukov...
Off the ropes. Zukov tried to come back in and collided with Nikolai Volkov.
Right now, Blair making a mockery of the two Russians. And I don't think Slick likes that one bit.
I think playing on their intellectual side there. Not exactly...
No.
Sending Volkov into the ropes. A little double team.
Yes, Bees doing good tag team work there. Oh, look at the power of that Russian.
Did you see that? Nikolai Volkov put Brunzell right back on his feet.
The power. Just incredible. And they've just beaten him to the ground, too. He still had all that reserve energy. Russians are always very well conditioned, you know.
Yes.
In this time of World Olympic Games and things like that, the Russians have been noted for their conditioning.
Zukov tries to drop an elbow and misses. Brunzell very quick. Getting out of the way. In comes Blair. Elbow across the arm of Zukov as he comes back into the action.
I believe, if anything, Zukov is a little more ponderous than Volkov. I don't know what their weight difference is. They're both in that 300-pound range, but Zukov doesn't seem to have the same mobility as Volkov.
It's amazing, Alfred. That's exactly what I was thinking. Two knees into the shoulder area. In comes Brunzell. Double twist on that wrist lock as they trade sides. Bell jumps up, lifts Zukov right over the top.
So far, everything has been the way of the Bees. They're dictating the pace of this match. They're dictating the way it should go. And they're doing remarkably well as a tag team. Very alert there, Brunzell. very alert. I've always said that the Bees were an underrated team. They just haven't seemed to quite hit it, but maybe this could be their turning point right here.
Why do you believe that is, Alfred?
I'm not quite sure, though. I think they may not quite have the killer instinct. They get their men going, and then they seem to hold back a little bit. They're a little reticent when it comes to really finishing off a dying corpse, you might say, or dying person.
And they're certainly exciting to watch and really can devastate their opponents.
Yes, now is their time to finish off Volkov. Now, they've got him on the run. Nice
Got the
figure
figure
four.
4 leg lock. See if we'll get a submission here. In comes Zukov.
Oh, look at the way.
Driving his boots into the chest of Brunzell, helping out his comrade.
Yes, Brunzell seems to be hurt. There was the lower rib cage that took the heel off his boot. And I think they did stun him, the Russians.
Well, if they did it before, they did right there.
Yeah, going for that lower rib cage again. Look, 3 times there now. 2 boots and 1 head to it.
Zukov using that giant battering ram he calls a head.
Yes.
Driving into the midsection.
There's probably many other
Brunzell.
names for that head too. Battering ram being the nicest, I think.
Nikolai Volkov, not exactly a pea head either.
No, here's where the Russians failed. Look, they had, well, I don't know, they reverted to it again, but they had Brunzell trapped and they were going for his lower rib cage, and then they suddenly diverted their attack to his head. I can't understand the Russians at some time.
They're taking advantage wherever they see it.
Yes, I think so.
Zukov back in, now has the bear hug implanted on Brunzell as the crowd begins to chant USA. Alfred Hayes as well.
I don't understand. Slicky's getting very nice about looking over here at you and I while he's USA. Why should he get angry with USA?
I think he was admiring your dress. And a nice dress it is. A little too high above the knees, though. Alfred.
I am not wearing a frock.
They back Brunzell into the corner. Nikolai Volkov makes a tag. And using those big, powerful arms.
Brunzell's been in there too long. He's got to make that tag. He could have made it several times. He opted not to, and that was a bad decision on his part.
Right there, the sunset flip. Over goes Volkov, but the referee is distracted by Zukov and missing. Oh, Alfred, he could have gotten more with a 3 count there.
Yes, it looked like about a 6-second pin he had there, and Zukov, of course, came in to distract the referee. They're good at that particular type of teamwork, the Russians. I mean, they weren't really breaking the rules. They were bending them a little bit, but they weren't breaking them, and that's one thing you can do in tag wrestling. Oh, good irony. Now's his chance to make that tag. If he can only get now to Blair, who's fresh on the outside.
Well, that move seems to have taken as much out of Brunzell, but he does make the tag. In comes a clutch. Brian Blair. And Zukov is paying for it. Oh, back shot. And now he's going after Volkov.
Blair managing both the Russians at the moment. How long can this last? He's 1 small man against 2 really huge men.
Now working on Zukov again, takes him to the turnbuckle.
Now he's in a better situation. He's 1-on-1 against Zukov, and he could be more than a match for this big Russian.
Oh, the clothesline! This is for the leg.
Oh, what a mistake there by Volkov. And he's up over the top rope. Now the Bees have got it all their own way.
Double arm clothesline across the chest.
The referee, again, his attention diverted.
Did you see right there, Alfred?
Oh, he missed that completely.
From over the top rope with a right. Slamming. Brian Blair.
The Bolsheviks!
Well, Zukov misses the tag. I hope we'll get the chance to see that again.
Well, I would like to see that again because they took advantage of the referee's back being turned. They're very, very good at that, the Russians. They work well as a tag team.